Trevor Lawrence said, quote, "I voiced my opinion." He's one of our best players. He's got to be on the field. Said that twice. He's got to be on the field. I voiced my opinion. He's got to be on the field. I'll spare you badgering Urban Meyer again because I did that so much yesterday, but I'll just reiterate that Urban Meyer failed as a head coach in one of two ways. Either he didn't know it was happening, or he lied about it and pushed the buck to an assistant coach that makes a fraction of his salary and has none of the control. Urban insists my assistant coaches have a bunch of influence and control. They make their own calls. But ultimately, you have to overturn that call because you can't put one of your best players back in a football game after a punishment in a blowout if you're also worried about him nursing back from injury. It's idiotic. But number two, I hope that Trevor Lawrence is starting to grow a voice. I hope that now into the fourth month as a starting quarterback in the NFL, Trevor Lawrence in a situation like this can speak to what he believes, which is, Coach, I see everything, which is what he said in that quote as well. I see it all. He's one of our best players. He needs to be on the field. And if we put him back on the field, it doesn't need to be during a blowout. It needs to be when we're trying to still win the freaking football game. And Trevor Lawrence is right. And this is the way Trevor can seize some control over a situation that he probably is getting pretty damn frustrated with. Okay, he came from Clemson where they lost 1 or 2 games a year. He came from Clemson where they competed for national championships, and he was always in the postseason, and he was always one of the best teams in college football, and he always had really good coaching around him. Even when Dabo wasn't a great in-game manager, Dabo surrounded himself with elite assistant coaches. Dabo spent a lot of money, and Clemson spent a lot of money on their assistant coaches. That's why Brent Venables stayed there for so long. And now he's going to a place where the head coach is supposed to have his fingers on everything and is blowing a lot of stuff. And it feels probably to Trevor Lawrence like, man, this is what losing programs and franchises are, and I'm sick and tired of it. You know, in college, if one of his teammates, one of the best players of the team, was disciplined for some reason, you know, it was probably pretty clear. Guy missed a class, missed an exam, this, that, or the other thing, missed a practice, something like that, and you deal with it first half, then the guy comes back in the second half, and, you know, we know how that stuff works. Here is this total vagary. He starts, but then he fumbles, and then he's benched, and then he comes back in a blowout, but he's also pseudo-injured. And I hope that Trevor Lawrence is voicing this is not how winners are built. Because he knows. Now, Urban should know as well because he's built winners. But he's not acting like it. He's not acting like it at all. And frankly, I couldn't have foreseen this. Maybe I should have. I think Urban Meyer's just not emotionally very invested in this. I think he's there. I think that he's collecting a really nice paycheck. I think that he, wants to win, but he doesn't want to invest the energy, the time, the sweat, the lack of sleep. He doesn't want to do that, or else he wouldn't have stayed back after a loss in Columbus, Ohio early in the season to hit on chicks at a bar. If he was invested the way 31 other NFL head coaches are, he would have flown back and just been looking at film the entire night. He's a first-year head coach in his first month after a loss. Like, you don't take weekends off. You know when you take a weekend off? March. February. Maybe. But you're usually getting ready for the combine or the draft. Like, in season, you don't take the weekend off. So when Urban just says, assistant coaches, you handle who comes in, who doesn't come in, he's once again delegating and really not overseeing the minutia of a team, which every head coach does if you're getting paid that much money and you have that much power. That's the thing that, how can you know? That he's simply not emotionally invested in this. And Trevor Lawrence is probably like, this is BS. This guy's one of our best players. You're putting him on the bench in the middle of a game for what reason? Only to bring him back in the game. Is he suspended? Is he benched? Is he not? Is he hurt? Is he not? Like, let's get with it here, fellas. And I don't think in any way Trevor Lawrence is a diva, is hard to coach, is a me guy. I think he sees dysfunction and is like, this can't happen. And I'm glad that he is. It might take him to wake some people up around there.